Well, howdy, one and all. This is Ringleader here doing a different kind of stream today. We're diving more into War Thunder, but specifically the brand new War Thunder 2.0 that's coming out in the near future. Primarily, I'm going to focus on the changes, what's going on with it, what's new, what's not new, the fun stuff. So I hope you will enjoy the show here. I am monitoring chat, so that way, if y'all have some questions, I will definitely be glad to answer. On that note, let's get started with what's coming for the American tree. Now, I am kind of excited for this new change, just because what's coming out soon, because of what it adds a new vehicle class to the game, a VTOL type aircraft, namely the Harrier jump jet. We have 9.7 uh, fighter aircraft. It'll have the vertical takeoff, which is brand new for the game. Previously there were helicopters, but there wasn't much else in terms of this kind of vehicle. This variant is the premium version, which will cost roughly around $20 in premium in gold needles, which is kind of pricey, but hey, it is what it is. And then also the tech tree variant, which you can earn through traditional methods, which is the AV8C, which is the should I say the Marine what the Marines used throughout its service. It does have quite a loadout actually, and it's identical for both the A and the C. Uh, A9s, which are pretty good missiles, it has 1,000-pound bombs, 500-pound Zuni rockets, all that kind of stuff. Down below, if you see here, you'll have the multi-purpose, which covers both air and ground, and here below your ground target is strictly air. Now, if you notice, though, the Tech Tree version only has two air-to-air missiles, the Sidewinder and AIM-9G, whereas the premium version has. Oh yeah, right. Hey, never mind. I take that back. Two. They both have the Sidewinder missile. Now, actually, to fly this aircraft, I actually had to modify my controls because the vehicle has a different type of setup in terms of how it maneuvers and stuff like that, and how it flies. Um, um, yeah, so let's take this out for a spin. And we'll do air targets. And we'll put it for cloudy. Yeah. And we'll do day. There's also another change which was added, which was super carriers. This is actually a new addition for War Thunder, as it was added with this patch. Previously, you would launch off of the old wooden World War II carrier, but they've added the modern carriers in order to, keep up with the game's technology. Uh, it is the USS Forrestal in this particular case. The British get their own, which is the Ark. I think the Ark Royale, and the Russians get their own variant as well. Now, the cool thing is this carrier also includes a catapult, and I'll show you here. Woo! So this is, like I said, this is the Harrier. It features different kind of propulsion here. You'll see here that there are four engines, and I did that. Oh, flaps. As four thrust nozzles, which can actually be positioned to the upright position to make it hover in place, as you can see here. Now, this jet will not stop on a dime, I will tell you that. But it won't crash either. And you see, we're basically hovering in place right now. Now there's no cockpit yet, hasn't been added to the aircraft yet. This is actually the second iteration of the dev server, which this particular Harrier variant was finally added. Now you can set the nozzles to go, in this position here, which will push the aircraft a bit forward, or withdraw them back into the standard position, which is then typical aircraft mode. Now the Harrier will overheat in its hover position, and I'll pull it back so you can see. And I see the engine is starting to overheat considerably. So I'll lower the temperature, then bring it back down, and bring it back up, and start flying. Now, let's see if we can find an air-to-air target to destroy, because I do have Mavericks on board. And I think there's one right there. Where else is that it? Yeah. So let's catch up to him. As soon as the circle goes red, that'll be a lot. Now the thing is though, these missiles are short range, so I have to be within like 2 kilometers for them to be effective. Otherwise they'll prematurely detonate. Alright, let's catch up to him. There we go. And look at that. That's also due to the upgrade, the fiery flames that come with aircraft as they crash and burn down into water. And that also affects player craft too. So let's hover close to the ground here just to show you what's going on with this. Head and cut back the throttle, hit the air brake. Oh shit. Wrong button. There we go. Alright, that's a thrust sucker. And we're gonna bring her down. As soon as I can stop, jeez. Let's bring her around slowly but surely. And I'm probably going to crash into the water because I don't have enough thrust. Now, a lot of people are thinking that the Harrier will be able to turn on a dime to its vertical capability, but as you see, it's not quite that much. It does require a bit of finesse to handle the craft into a proper position. So we're going to bring her down. Setting out the landing gear. Do it gently so I don't slam into the fucking ground. Alright, let's see. Nice and easy. Oh yeah. And we'll tuck back, and there you go. And you can just, what you can do then, of course, is you can push forward, or the thrust vector to the correct spot, and just take off the traditional old-fashioned way. Or, mix it up a bit. See if we can hold it. Ah! No! Okay, that was my fault, but you know what? I'm having fun here. We're messing with everything. And we'll do a thrust vector off the carrier deck. Here we go. There you go. That's pretty cool, right? And you know, just for good measure. Oh, I missed the carrier. Like I said, there's a Tech Tree variant and the premium version. This is the premium version of the aircraft, which is available for Golden Eagles after the update is released, which it's so far I recall is in late November. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so that was the AB-8C and the AB-8A. That was the Harrier. There is the British version, which is the Harrier GR1 and the Harrier GR3. Let's test this one. I think it has a different loadout. Yes, it has 4 SRAMs, which are very short-range missiles. And they generally kill things and, and stuff. Now, let's go ahead and take off. And you see it's a different carrier. I think it's the Art Royal. I may be wrong on that. I'll find out. I see it looks slightly different because it's the British variant, but it does the same thing basically. Let's find a target. Now this one also does not have a cockpit, so we're gonna have to deal with just what it is, Now this is the premium version that we're looking at right now, and she does look like a beauty. Also notice the gun animation is different, much more flashy, explosive, which I like. Also notice that the clouds have changed. They're no longer stacked pieces of fuzz. It now actually has. That's what I thought. I'll show you. The clouds look more soft, more cloudy in general. You can kind of see through them a bit. Which is a new addition to the game with 2.0 that's coming out. Looks pretty good, right? I'm in love with it. Alright, let's get that target real quick and then we'll go on to the next vehicle. Now, Harriers cannot brake supersonic, so this thing will not go that fast, but it will get pretty close. The reason for why it isn't brake supersonic though is because it actually, the aerodynamics of the vehicle just did not allow it. It could not break the sound barrier. Looks like we got our target. Sounds pretty cool, right? Should we hit him here? Okay, let's do one more thing before we move on. We're going to attempt a carrier landing using the Harrier. Alright, so far so good. Put landing flaps to slow down some more. Put 60% throttle. A little bit more juice. And we're going to try it for pad 5. down nice and slow. Come on, vibe. Close enough. I did better at it. It'll come with time. Alright, let's return to the hangar. Speaking of the hangar, the hangar was changed. Before it was either a generally airfield that had a bunch of with your country's flags, or in the case of the army, it had a garage with a bunch of random tanks all over the place. This was changed with the upcoming update, and we'll show Germany. So, with the hangars, but if you look at the ground hangar, you'll see that all the vehicles that are on your lineup at the bottom now appear in the garages in the background. Also, it'll show a premium tank or vehicle in the BR that you're showing. This one's an L44, which is a modern gun on a Leopard 1. Kind of outdated, but hey, whatever. Also, there's people now just chilling out, doing their thing, stuff like that. And also, one vehicle from your lineup will also show up driving by as well. And behind you is also more vehicles which may or may not be from your lineup. And they'll be firing at targets downrange. Let's see if we can wait for one of them to do that. Now, my decoration is a little bit weird because, unfortunately, somehow during their server it kind of messed with it. You try to mirror it, it'll appear in a different direction on the other side, which is, of course, is no good. Now, about the USA, actually, I'm sorry. So we know they added the AV8, so let's see what else they added. The Striker. This is a modern combat vehicle which is in service in Iraq and Afghanistan. I believe it uses cage armor, which can fill with sandbags or otherwise. It's actually, this vehicle is actually regarded as a very, even though it's armored combat vehicle, it's, in terms of War Thunder, it has very light armor and it's basically like a glass cannon. But the strong point, though, is on top of its speed is its gun. It has a 105 millimeter cannon, fires APDS, I think, and among other things. Let's see. Yeah, APDS and Haybow. Fires this lovely round, which is N900, which can penetrate most vehicles at its BR. It is a new addition. It'll be in the tech tree. No premium stuff here on this. Looking forward to that. Let's see, anything in the helicopter tree? Let's take a look. Nope. So another change was previously the Navy portion of the game was divided or was in one tech tree, but now they have two separate sections. The Blue Water Fleet, which contains destroyers, cruisers, and just added battleships, which are the big guns to see. But battleships are not fast or maneuverable in any way. They're slow as molasses. They won't do shit. But their advantage, though, is the big guns they bring. Also, they mention a ton of armor. Now, these are first generation battleships or dreadnoughts, so they don't have a lot of anti-aircraft capability. However, though, they're kind of makes up for it by having really great counter battery capability. Unfortunately, I don't have access to any of the battleships at this time because I haven't reached that far in the Navy tree. But at least to say, it's effective. Now, these are new destroyers, I believe. Yes, which includes the Moffat. Looks like a late World War II destroyer, but I might be wrong. Looks cool. Let's see how it has some armor, but it won't be enough to stop a battleship round. It's got 5-inch guns, pretty standard. Torpedo tubes, and plenty of some A. Destroyers are regulated to anti-submarine duty, and as well as what was it? 250 for this? Okay. That's a very early destroyer. The 4 stats gives it away. This is a very early, like 1900 or 1800, not 1900 era destroyer, which is World War One essentially. I think so, anyways. Then you have the coastal fleet, which is basically patrol boats, frigates, the things like that. Uh, this is added to differentiate between the two classes, so that way they don't overlap and get themselves murdered. Germany also got battleships as well, the Westfalen and the Helgoland. Let's see what this is about. Now this I kind of like. It's just guns fucking everywhere. Again, almost little to no anti-aircraft. So watch your shelf. Make sure our destroyers or cruisers are escorting you. If you don't have them, they're gonna murder you. I mean, dive bombers and torpedo bombers, player controlled ones will just straight up kill you. The Westfalen is pretty much the same. We got looks like a new destroyer here. The 1924 Nickolas, which is a World War I destroyer, probably upgraded or maintained after the Treaty of Versailles, but nonetheless, she's a beaut. Let's see what else we got here. New for the coastal fleet? No. Now the Germans didn't do anything in the high end, which is, I guess, it's the way it's going to be. That's fine. They got a new BF-110, which has 30mm, 20mm cannons. Has radar capability. I am trying to see. I can test fly this bitch. Let's see what we can do with this. And actually, this is a three. Okay. Let's put on secondary weapons. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what this bad boy can do. She's looking good so far. Now, BF-09s or 110s rather, were I think heavy fighters. But I believe it'll do well just fine against bombers and aircraft as long as you don't get into a dogfight. Is there this? Alright. Oh, shit! Oh. There we go. Almost messed up there. Gotta say, that looks cool. Alright, let's find ourselves an air target. Now, the BF-110 was obsolescent by the midpoint of the war, so I didn't serve much of a purpose after that. And hello, Jimmy. Do you have any targets up here? Let's see how this radar functions. Yeah, so medium tanks that way. Also, look at the cooling vanes on this thing, man. This is fucking cool. Previous variants of the BF-110 had much smaller cooling vanes or exhausts, but this one just has fucking massive ones. Well, let's see if we can get to these ground targets and see if we can murder them. We may or may not be able to. No fighters or aircraft around, so that's kind of weird. Flugzeug bitte kommen. Landung klar. She's cutie though. Alright. So let us begin our ascent. Actually, is that a SPA? Let's do that. Target destroyed. So how you been, Jimmy? Let's see if we can murder that T-34. Nope. Armor's too sad. But you know, we're gonna ceremoniously do something here. Let's see that murder animation. Woo! That was pretty. This is War Thunder, my friend. I'm going through the 2.0 changes that are coming soon with the next update for the game. Alright, so that's it for the... I think that's it for the... Yeah, I think that's it for the Germans altogether. Let's see what this is. Nothing here. Nothing here either. So the HMS Dreadnought is basically the granddaddy of all battleships and dreadnoughts. So she has a place of honor in all things. Looks like she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main batteries, and each sporting a 305mm gun, or 2 of them anyways. So it'll screw with somebody's day if they get close enough. Also, look at this shit. Look at that armor. 279mm of armor. Now I'm noticing that the keel or the bottom of the ship is not armored all the way around, just the belt around the surface of it. You know, the counter for torpedoes, but that's curious. The shell hits right there, like goes below the water, and then hits, like, say, the magazine. Then you could theoretically do a kill right off the bat. But again, no anti-aircraft, so it's vulnerable. What else? We got a new destroyer, the J class. Nice little an escort destroyer used by the British and the Americans during the runs across the ocean. And as we saw, the Harrier, we've already seen those. And let's see what we have with the Army, if there's anything. Oh! This is interesting. This is one of the few... this is one of the few tanks in the game that have a curved hull and the later tiers of the game. This is actually a cross project between the Americans and the British. And Jimmy, it's a not a World War game, but it's generally an armor or a tank and aircraft and plane game. The whole, you know, it was kind of an experiment in the mid '80s on what it can do with various technology. This is a light tank though, so there's not a lot of armor. It's a speedy boy. Yeah, not a lot of armor. This is like paper armor at this point. And it's like to use APDS or APD armor band stabilized armor piercing the starting Sabo with 105mm gun. It may have night vision, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's see what else we got here. Nothing here. Nothing there. Okay. Next we got Russia. Now this is a modern battle tank for Russia. This is actually a what was it? Post USSR development. Now this is actually very interesting to know. But you see these little occulets right here. Those actually flash red. It's not to intimidate though. It's actually a deterrent for ATGM or anti-tank guided missiles. And when the infrared flashers, these are called, are turned on, it'll actually cause missiles to travel at it, but then travel up out of the way of the tank. So it's effective in the general direction of the front of the vehicle or the front of the turret, wherever it may be. So AT and GM carriers will have to aim for the back or wherever the turret is not aimed. I've seen this in action. It's pretty fucking cool. Has actually multiple layers of armor, which is impressive. And if you look here, more explosive armor, huge composite. You know, more composite here, explosive reactive armor. You know, things like that. Um, it does feature an autoloader, I believe. Let's see. Yes, which is a mechanism, which then the tank will load the shells from here into this mechanism, which then load it into the gun itself. Uh, which I've seen in action with other ones. That's a T-72, I think, and that was pretty fucking rad. Yeah, that's the meme with sword. It's the big scary red eyes, like the tank is angry. Next we have from Syria the T-72AB. This is the current no, this is the battle tank that is currently in Syria for the service under the Syrian National Guard or something like that. T-72s were a previous gen vehicle. They're very capable. You can see there's ERA armor all over the fucking place. Kind of annoying though because of how the turret is set. They kind of just bounce everything. Uh, they are not as well armored as the T-80Us, but this should be a fun ride to encounter. See what else we got here. This tree's massive. And Jimmy, no, some of these are not. Okay, so we saw the Harriers for the Harrier jump jet for both the Marines and for the English. We're going to now see the Russian version of a VTOL craft, which is, I think, this one? Or, hold on, let's see. Is this Sick Boy? Let's test flight. I'm not very familiar with the Yak-38. That's a lot of stuff. Okay. R60 times 2 and RS5KP32 of them. Conditions: Cuban, cloudy, and daytime. And looks like we had a freeze here. Let's see. Yeah, Dane crashed. 1 second. Not surprising since this is still a dev server, and I have been having occasional crashes with it. I'm sure it'll get corrected by the time the game is released. But fun and games. Okay. So the Yak-38 had a crash with that, so let's try again. Actually, I want to show you this instead first, real quick. The legendary MiG-21 BIS. These were pretty good aircraft, but has no countermeasures, but it's fast. I will say that. Looks like, as you can see here, has plenty of weapons on this loadout. It's meant to tackle a whole bunch of threats. It can counter the F4 Phantom too, but yeah. So let's try this again. If it crashes, it crashes. If not, it's okay. Oh, there we go. All right, so this is a hoverboard, and now we're on the Russian version of the carrier. All right, so let's. Wow. Okay. Where are the thrust nozzles in this thing? Let's take off. Whoa, look at that shit. That's pretty cool, actually. Oh, and what else nozzles in the back? Alright, let's... Whoa. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Go, 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 go. There we go. Now we're getting some speed. So the I-38 is a lesser known aircraft. It was their own attempt at VTOL, primarily designed to work with their own carriers, which were not, should I say, particularly efficient. Now this time I got 2 gun pods. I thought I equipped it with missiles. Okay. So we catch this guy right here. And of course this one has a cockpit. What the hell? She's fast. We're catching up though. Come on. Out of ammo. Okay. Kamikaze! Yeah, I did.
Kamikaze time!
Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can force us into VTOL. No? Okay. Where's the air brakes? Not even modeled, okay. At least we got radar. You know, that's cool. I wonder what these caliber are these. No. I guess they're 30 millimeters. They better be at least 20. Man, look at the sky. Oh well. What was that? Okay. So this thing's kind of cool. Let's just take off nice and slow. Tell you what though, this thing accelerates way faster than the Harrier. And let's bring her on down. Did I make it? Did I make it? Did I make it? Oh, missed. I want to crash into it. No. Oh. There we go. Oh. I want to wreck. I want to wreck. Nope. Fail. Okay, so... come on! Ah. That's okay. I'll just drown. It's alright. Anyways, that's the Yak-38, the base version. I think the Tech Tree version is the more advanced variant. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, the Yak-38M. I'm not sure what the big difference is though. Hey, 23mm can, that's different. Fuel tank, engine's right there, another engine right here. That's a pretty nifty aircraft, if you haven't heard of it. Alright, what else we got? A new destroyer, which is an old Russian Imperial Navy destroyer, apparently. In her old glory. New fun fact: before 1917, Russia was controlled by an imperial hegemony under the Romanov family. Prior to the communist overthrow, their navy was actually pretty okay until the war with Japan, when things went to shit. No, this one just looks pretty. Look at that. One, two, three, four guns. Or four turrets, each with 150. So let's do a test drive real quick, just for some funsies. Alright, so let's take a look and see what we can sink. Hey, what are you guys doing? Anti-aircraft barriers. Oh, he's fucking dead. He didn't make it. Alright, so let's find ourselves some targets. He's dead. What else? Let's see. This is kind of silly because, oh, there they are. Alright, let's see if we can hit those targets way back there. Steady ahead. Let's see where they land. Not bad, not bad at all. Ooh, almost got them all. And she's on fire. She's also listing. Target destroyed. So I think that was, what was that? I can't tell. Let's have some sort of destroyer. Alright, let's find something bigger. That looks bigger? I could be wrong. Alright, let's slash. Not bad, not bad. I don't see it as a cruiser. Okay, let's see what else we can find. It's over here. Let's kill that guy. Boop. Wait, damn it. Whoops. Anyway, that's enough of this cruiser. Hey, that had a cruiser. Yeah. Light cruiser. And here we have the battleships. Now this one is kind of cool because you can get all guns on target, but it's really archaic in design compared to modern battleships that are found in the 50s and 40s. Let's see what else we got here. Coastal fleet, no changes there. Japan. So Japan has its own battleships now too, but let's start off with a destroyer. That looks kind of interesting to say the least. Yeah, let's go with the armor. The armor is only around the guns. That's fucking hilarious. But not surprising. There's torpedo tubes right there. There's another torpedo tube. Yep, right there. Yeah. The Setsu, which is another early generation battleship. That's cool. That's good. Redizing for aviation. Ah! So this is a curious one. This is the F1 fighter. Yeah, F1 fighter, which is the predecessor of the F2, which is modeled on the F-16. Beforehand, there was only the T2 fighter, which was like a early generation trainer jet of sorts, I guess. Japan had then began to expand its air force over time. Let's see what it can carry. All defense 20 meter gun, which is it's a high, it is high velocity. I see multiple layouts. It's 500 pound. It's just out 750 pound guns. Sidewinders, aim 9Es and Gs or 9Ps. Jesus, pretty good. Of course, their range is not that long. All right, let's see what else we got. Anything low tier? No. New helicopters? No. Does get a new battle tank T-75 Type 74F. Remember correctly, it has hydrodynamic suspension, which means it can ride low like a lowrider. And that one does indeed come with a 105mm cannon. Alright. So this shit is some bullshit right here. This is basically an Object 279, I think it was. But better. It comes by default with fucking armor piercing, fin stabilized to starting stable. And it's just good. It's supposed to be faster, supposed to be generally more stable. The Chinese did not have a concept of what armor was, though. I mean, 10mm, 20mm, a 50 caliber might go through this. So it's generally meant as a sniping vehicle in general. For crew, standard configuration, I guess. It's pretty neat. Let's see what else we got here. Nothing there. Let's check aviation. And we get the QA-5B. China started to upgrade their air vehicles. You know, this one has expanded ground strike ability. It is a ground pounder, no anti-aircraft, so don't expect it to engage anything in the air. Let's see what the max speed is. 1300, so I guess it can just about break the sound barrier. Shit, that boy. Let's see what's got here. Italy.